Hello and welcome to this Lausa training video. This training video has been filmed in conjunction with a 343 Squadron virtual PPL project. You'll watch this training video before you make your first flight. This training video will cover the pre-flight checklist and the pre-flight inspection. In this video, we are in a Cessna 172 parked on the apron at London City Airport. Aircraft registration and call sign Golf Mike Kilo Lima Oscar. This video will teach you about the pre-flight inspection and the walk around, and how a pilot conducts the pre-flight inspection before they make a flight. Another element of this video will introduce you to operating generally around airport and general airport operations. One of the things a pre-flight inspection is designed to do is to look and find things that are wrong in the way the aircraft looks. Something that may be sticking out, something that might be slightly broken. It could just be a loose screw, it could be a broken cable. That's what the pre-flight inspection is designed to identify. One of the important things about the pre-flight is to have the correct attitude to your pre-flight inspection. In the pre-flight, you're really looking for something that looks wrong. Most light aircraft, when parked, will have a control lock enabled. As part of this training video, I've included a document created for the virtual PPL project. This document is in your course folder and it's called the Pre-Flight Checklist lesson number 2. Let's go into the aircraft now and familiarise ourselves with the inside of the aircraft. If you open your training document and move down to the section Pre-Flight Checks, with the control lock removed, one of the key essential things to ensure is that the keys are not in the ignition. This is because we will be walking around the aircraft and around the propeller, and we don't want the aircraft starting accidentally. One of the other first things you do when you enter the aircraft is, in a light aircraft, we're going to lower the flaps to the full flaps down position. You can see the flaps transitioning here and flaps in the down position here. Make sure the master switch is turned back off when you lower the flaps. Back into the aircraft, and before we make the external checks of the aircraft, one of the first things I want to do is check how much fuel we have to make our flight. The fuel gauge in this Cessna 172 you'll be doing your training in for the rest of this course is here, the left hand side. If you look at the gauge displays quantity in gallons, and we have just over 10 gallons in the left tank and just over 10 gallons in the right tank. As we get out the aircraft, we need to be checking the tyres and brakes. And outside the aircraft, we're going to make a general walk around the outside of the aircraft looking for any obvious damage, checking all the leading edges of the wings and tailplane, making sure the controls have full and free movement, checking all the cracks and all the hinges are secure and there are no birds nesting inside. As we walk around the aircraft, we're looking for any signs of damage or any signs of collision from a previous flight. As we walk around the outside of the aircraft, and check the fuel drains and check the fuel condition with your fuel strainer under the wing tanks. And on top of the aircraft, check the fuel tanks for total fuel. You can use your dipstick to measure the fuel quantity in the tanks by undoing the fuel cap and dropping your dipstick inside. Continue the walk around to the front, check oil, make sure the oil is sufficient and up to the correct levels. Again, check the condition of the tyres, and around the front of the aircraft, especially inside these intakes here in the Cessna 172, we're looking for birds or any other obstructions here inside the intakes. Check the propeller for wear and tear, any marks, any nicks, and also on the leading edge of the wings we're looking for marks and nicks. Also check the stall warning indicators working correctly. Remove any tie downs on the wings. Check the pitot heat is warming up by enabling the pitot heat, and make sure that the pitot is clear of obstructions. The pitot here is an essential measuring instrument. This probe here measures airspeed and protrudes into the airflow to measure the airspeed. As you walk around, make sure you check the wing flaps are clear of obstructions. And finally, before you get into the cockpit, it's imperative that you check the static port. The static port on the 172 is located here on the left hand side of the cowl, and the port provides all references for air pressure and the aircraft's instrument and gauges. So you must make sure that the static port is clear, and it's generally the last check you make before getting inside the aircraft. We're ready to get inside the aircraft and start the engines up now. So let's get inside the aircraft, put the flaps back up, shut the doors, and ready for the pre-flight checklist, pre-start checklist.